It's going to take me a minute to get a yes out of both of them.
Everybody's computer is recording in progress.
Okay, so we're good? We're good? Dylan, we're good? Okay, let's get started. Let's go ahead and, are you guys ready?
Yes.
You guys ready?
Yes.
Okay. Invocation, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Let's pray. Father, as always, we pause at the beginning of our time together to just focus on what's important and to remember to be grateful. We're grateful for the men and women in this room, people with full lives and full schedules, and still they choose to give of their time to the citizens of Mary Esther. So we take the beginning of our time today as we proceed to make decisions, to make the most important decision that we can make, and that's to trust you. So we look to you for wisdom and guidance in the meeting tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. I'm calling to order the regular meeting for the City of Mary Esther City Council, May 4th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Would everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now I would like the city clerk, if he would, to do a roll call of the city council.
Councilmember Sutton.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Coxwell.
Here.
Councilmember Lawson.
Present.
Councilmember Carter. Councilmember Oder.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Item number 5 is approval of tonight's agenda. Does anybody at this time wish to make any changes of tonight's agenda? If not, do I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I have a first by Ms. Sutton.
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Lawson, Ms. Coxwell. Okay, Mr. Larson, we'll give it to him tonight. You got a second. Lawson. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and vote. Okay. And it's unanimous. Thank you. Okay, special presentation 6.0. 6.1 is our second public hearing tonight for fiscal year 2025 Small Cities Community Development Block Grant CDBG application. And we are going to, I've got a little checklist here to go with. So I'm going to start by stating the date and time and open to public hearing. Okay.
Actually,
sorry.
I'll start. I'll say a few things. As Heather Day, Finance Director.
The presentation from staff is number 2, not number 1.
Okay.
Okay, we have this tonight. Today's date is the 4th of May, 2026. The time is 6:05, and we are opening this public hearing. Now we have a brief presentation from the staff.
Okay. Heather Day, Finance Director. And I'm here just to introduce Jeffrey Winters. We have Jeffrey here with us this evening with Cornerstone Community Partners to facilitate the second public hearing for the 2025 CDBG application cycle. The purpose of this hearing, similar to the first one, is to discuss potential projects for which the city may apply for grant funding. During the special meeting on the 18th this month, council will be asked to formally select the projects to submit an application for. By that time, the income surveys will be completed, providing a clear understanding of which project is most competitive to apply for grant funding for or projects. And the application will be submitted by May 20th. So we'll discuss potential projects tonight. On the 18th, we're going to bring it back and have you formally decide which ones you would like us to apply for, and then we'll submit the application by the 20th. Also, Jeffrey is here tonight, and so he'll be out here doing some surveying tomorrow around the Springdale, Azalea, and Caswell neighborhoods. And so we'll get some word out to the residents and let the sheriff's office know that he'll be going door to door just for tomorrow. But they'll still be working on the income surveys. So they'll do door-to-doors tomorrow, and then they'll continue with phone calls. So with that, Jeffrey Winters.
Jeffrey Winter,
Can you turn-
Cornerstone.
That's not on.
Jeffrey Winter, Cornerstone Community Partners. It's an honor to be here before you this evening.
As Heather's indicated, the purpose of this public hearing is just to make the public aware of some potential projects that the city is interested in submitting and to solicit public input and comments for consideration prior to submission of any applications. I want to briefly describe the two projects being considered at this time and then provide a little bit of background information just before turning the floor back over to council to solicit any public comments. So one of the applications, this first application, is in the amount of $3 million. It would be in the neighborhood revitalization category for the Azalea Park and Caswell Circle Street Improvements Project. So the improvements include, but are not limited to, resurfacing of the streets, replacement of the curb and gutter, and installation of new or replaced sidewalks within the Azalea Park and Caswell Circle neighborhoods. The second application the city is interested in putting forward would be an application total value of $2,550,000, also within the neighborhood revitalization category. This would be for improvements including but not limited to cleaning, CCTV, and lining of gravity sewer mains and service lines within the Springdale neighborhood. Both of these applications we're currently in the process of pulling together the data for in order to to provide to council so you all can make an informed decision on how to proceed in the city's best interest. We will be pulling that data together with the intent of bringing this back before you all on the 18th, at which point we should have enough information to allow the council to make an informed decision on how you'd like to proceed. With that being said, I will turn it back over to council, let you open it up for any comments from the public.
I have one
Yes, sir.
question for you. What is the detriment for applying for both?
There would be no detriment for applying for both. The Florida Commerce has waived the requirements. Now, I will tell you from a local standpoint, there are some concerns, which we will be working with Jacobs to try to provide some answers for you by the 18th as well, in terms of whether or not the award of the contract for the services, to which I think these are all bid additives, scope of work for these two applications, as to whether or not moving forward with these applications and deducting them from a contract will be required. That is something that, of course, we'd like to have some more information and bring back to you. But in terms of your ability to apply, Florida Commerce has waived all requirements with the number of applications you may submit. They will be considered both within the same neighborhood revitalization category, meaning they will compete against other neighborhood revitalization category applications. However, they both score differently at this point. So once we have more beneficiary data, I can give you firm scores, but I would say that's a factor to be considered as well as the city decides how you want to proceed.
Okay, go.
I mean, I'd like to submit both, but if we had to choose one, my preference would be the sewer rehabilitation. I mean, I think that's going to be the priority.
But but there again, like we talked, is there a priority or?
There's no priority selection. That's all going to be based on your score. There's a 1,000 point score, total points available within these applications. Right now, on just the draft preliminary scoring applications, we have in the Springdale, the Springdale neighborhood project is scoring out around 439.37, with the Azalea project scoring at around 477.55. As we get better beneficiary data, those scores are subject to change, but right now that's kind of where they're sitting at.
Would it be possible or feasible that these would both be funded or no?
It would be feasible. I do, just a full disclosure, this is similar to the last 23-24 funding cycle. Same amount of funds have been allocated in this funding cycle, and these same waivers are in place. Now, because of those waivers in the last cycle, they saw an overwhelming response of over 80 applications submitted. So for that reason, I would certainly recommend putting in as many applications as you can to increase your chances of receiving an award, and what we do anticipate will be a competitive application cycle.
So the more the merrier.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, I would definitely submit both at
Both.
that point.
Yeah, I mean, well, like I asked you, there's no detriment of not, and you're saying it's better to just submit more.
No,
Yeah.
you can certainly receive multiple awards. One of our
We only have
communities.
two. Can you come up with some more?
We can come up with quite a few. It's just the beneficiary data we would need to
I
support.
understand.
Um,
Anybody?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's pretty much a no-brainer. I mean, hey, what, you got a brain? I mean, you got some no-brainer? I mean, I don't mean that way, but you want to comment on it, or do you think it's a good idea?
I don't have any comments as to the process or how many to submit. I think, with that, you're gonna have to find a contractor, obviously, those types of things. So, I think my understanding, and Jared can chime in, tonight's just to try to get a feel, let them finish their surveys, and then maybe bring a more, pointed idea on what, if one kind of moves ahead of the pack, right? That's the one you want to submit.
My only real concern is, let's say in a perfect world, they're both funded, is how would we maintain two major projects?
The problem to have, but.
Yeah.
I can speak on that if you want.
Yeah, I mean, we can cross that bridge if we get to it.
Get both.
A few of the things that I think we can work through and we'll be better prepared to work through at the special meeting would be just how we would move forward with a contractor since we've already opened bids. Because one of the concerns would be that if essentially all you're doing is approving a base bid and we don't receive an award, well, that may have to go out to bid again, and those may come in higher. So there are some things that I think we do need to work through between now and the special meeting.
And that's on the 18th.
Correct.
Okay.
Were the surveys sent out like a vital part of all this too? So really push. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else? Okay, I'm going to open this up for, thank you very much.
Yes, of course.
And my other question is, you're the 120-inch TV, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gotcha. I don't understand that one. Okay, anyway. Open to public comment. Does anybody wish to make a public comment? You're the only real, well, I guess all you guys can make it, but she's kind of a resident. You want to make a public comment? State your name, address. Thank you. I know.
Wiebke Anderson, 2 Azalea Drive. I was just thinking about the survey, and I was out of town. I had a house sitter. When I got the paper, I didn't know the survey was on the back. So I don't know if it was mentioned in the letter at all that the survey would be on the back, but I thought if I don't get it and Claude doesn't get it, I wonder how many people didn't get that. Even when I came here to fill out the survey, I was still expecting a separate paper or leaflet or something. And she said, no, it's on the back. I felt really embarrassed about
So the
it.
letter didn't say.
I
turn-
didn't see it.
It wasn't obvious.
And the other part is,
Sorry.
I guess it's more for the future. My impression is most people do not read "the city needs your help." You know, what they read is, we want to do something for you. So I think these letters need to be addressed differently. But I don't know how many you got back. I expect not too many, because even I was a little reluctant because there was so much text, and I was like, oh, what is this, you know? So I think these things need to be, what can we do for you? And it needs to be short, possibly like something visual, like a picture or something. Like if it's about infrastructure, it's for us, the people who live in that neighborhood.
Good
And
point.
yeah, I mean, I just think people are not attracted by the way it was presented.
Seriously, that's a good
Thank
point.
you.
Because you're, who wrote the letter anyway? Which one are you?
That's that guy.
Watching, watching too much TV. Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay. All right. Well, thank you for bringing that up. We need pictures and everything else. And yeah, that's a good thing. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, in that case, I'm going to close the public comment at this time, 15 after 6. And we're going to close the public hearing. Proceed with prospective motion. Okay, we got 3 motions here. I'm kind of hinting that everybody is for the last one, which is a motion to adopt Resolution 26-08, authorizing the city manager. Am I okay?
And Mayor and Council, I think we were going to put that off until the 18th as well,
We
until
all-
we get those surveys back. Yes, sir.
So there's no vote.
Correct.
Okay, well, okay, no vote. Sorry about that, guys. All right, moving on. Is there anything else for this subject, or we're going to wait for the 18th? Okay, all right, we're waiting on the 18th. 6.2, Hobart Field wastewater decision and future support. Lieutenant Colonel Uh, Compton, First Special Operations Civil Engineer Squadron. Sir, would you please and give us the presentation, please? And there's going to be reasons Hobart Field backed out.
Hopefully it's on. Is it on? Yeah, my name is Phil Compton. I'm the Civil Engineer Squadron Commander. I'm joined here today with my Director of Engineering, Matt Vera, and my Community Planner, Mr. Scott Davidson. About a year ago, a little bit over a year ago, my predecessor was here, my much more charismatic predecessor, to talk about a partnership opportunity to maybe apply for a future grant where we combine our conveyance requirements to Okaloosa County. We helped fund some analysis, some engineering analysis. And one of the assumptions we had as a team was that the wastewater treatment plant was was in significant upgrades far beyond what we could afford, and that it needed a replacement. And part of the problem is that we just didn't have the engineering capability organically to make a really good call, and that's why we hired a contractor to help us do that evaluation. After the evaluation came back, that's about when I came into the team, we found out that the cost was very low to continue to operate our wastewater treatment plant, orders of magnitude low. And so at that point in time, there was not a lot of interest, and to make a commitment and to advocate and to spend some of the kind of the rare credits we have to go to higher headquarters and ask for the tens of millions of dollars we require to do this combined conveyance. So I know that's disappointing to the council and to the City of Mary Esther. I live in this community, and so, I always find it in my interest to participate in the community. And I know there's more opportunities out there, and we're not going to stop participating, when it's in our combined interest, and it almost always is in our combined interest to partner with you. But in this case, we're going to continue to operate the wastewater treatment plants in fine condition. We're operating well below capacity, and I think it's going to last another 30 years with a little bit of investment. So I'm open to your questions and feedback.
Can we send our waste to your plant?
Can you say that again?
Can we send our waste to your plant?
Yeah.
You
And
said you had low capacity. We could fix that.
yeah, I mean, relatively low capacity. We can operate one small city, but I think, another small city would probably overwhelm us. I know letters of support didn't work out this time. We were pretty engaged with, congressmen, et cetera. And we brought this up to Congressman Petronas the last time he visited. And we'll continue to push all the agencies we can, because like I said, our people live in this community. I live in this community, and, we find it in our interest to be good neighbors.
Anybody have any questions?
No, I just want to thank you for everything you have done with our city. I know that Jared has greatly, appreciated everything.
Yeah, Jared's great.
So it's been a great collaboration to have you guys as neighbors, and we've always appreciated the support and continued support and whatever endeavors we all do together.
Yeah. Okay, my
go ahead.
turn. You said tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
We've got it down to 15 million for the whole thing
For
to
the whole
send it
thing.
up to the county. That's not including you guys.
Yeah.
So if we do this, which there's a strong possibility we're going to do it without you. Do you want to, at a later date, build your pipe and connect to us so we can start charging you? Or, I'm just,
No,
it's not that much. You said tens of millions, and we're talking, the whole package is not going to be that much other than connecting pipe between Hobart Field and Mary Esther.
I think when you get the package,
It was high.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it started 40 million or something. It was like you were in a full agreement, tens of millions, but then the county gave us concessions and we're down to 15 million.
I do think it's of interest to us.
Okay.
As
30
something
years
that
from
we want to consider as an alternative in case, there are lots of things that could change on our end of things,
A good
especially
hurricane.
with a hurricane or
Yeah.
with the government thinking about how can we participate more in the community? How can we offload more of the management of an installation into the community? And so if those kind of things come up, it might become in our interest,
Do you have any FDEP complaints against your plant?
not against our plant.
No.
Our plant's in full compliance.
You've
It's
never had a consent order or fussing or anything
I've
like
not
that?
seen.
I mean, it's a nice
yeah, it's
plant. I
one-
had
yeah,
a
it's one
tour
of
of
the-
it. It's beautiful. I just,
Yeah.
um,
It was one of the questions, whether it's PFAS, any of the
that's the one.
requirements.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm thinking.
we're doing really well. We also use our plants, for reuse water, which
Mhm.
we have a lot of centralized chiller plants and then just some sprinkling, lawn sprinkling in certain areas. So there's a little bit of that as well that we would lose, but by and large, we could have figured out a way to just move to conveyance to Okaloosa County if the cost was reasonable
Right.
about.
I looked at the proposal of putting a connection stub. So if Herbert Field ever later changed their mind, but the size of the diameter pipe would have to change. In other words, you'd have to run a parallel line
Mhm.
to the county, and I would hope, because things can change. So I would encourage Herbert Field to
Consider
look at
that.
relook, because if you do change, and putting a stub in would not be the answer, because the pipe from that point forward had to be a larger diameter to take your flow and our flow together.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
but appreciate what you've done.
Yeah.
I know that things change and dollars can be, but if we could continue to partner on this particular issue, I'd love for it to be a win-win, because I'm not sure how many residents from Herbert Field live in Mary Esther, but, because their water bill is going to be impacted when this all comes through, and any way to kind of throttle that price down would be in everyone's best interest.
Yeah. It's worth looking into again.
Thank you, Carla.
Yeah.
Good.
I was actually at CE for quite a few years. I actually worked on your plant.
Nice.
Oh, you said you made the decision. How much was it going to be to rehab yours as to send it to the county?
We're talking just a few $100,000 is what we were talking
Lucky
about.
you.
And then you,
Well, within like
Paint
my own personal authority to make choices, when we get in the millions of dollars, it takes a lot of application to get that kind of money.
Understood.
You're going to paint it.
Well, I appreciate you coming and explaining.
Yeah,
it.
thank you very much.
Yeah, of
Thank you.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me. It's
We
an honor to be
appreciate it.
here,
Thank
be
you.
part of your
Yeah.
team.
Thank you.
Come on out on Veterans Day.
Yeah.
And you guys can depart if you want, because the meeting's just going to go on and on and on.
No,
I highly recommend it. Huh? Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
But 120 inches got to stay.
Thank you.
Stay. We're going to put you through it.
He does have Monday Night Football. He
Hmm?
does.
Do what?
He does have Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football? Okay. Good for him.
Are we going to his house for Monday Night Football?
On his screen. You okay?
Where's he live?
Fine.
Oh, well, it's a vacation. Is that one of our sister cities? Is that a sister city? We can make that as a, work trip.
Are we moving on?
Yes, we're moving on. We have an issue here, but we're going to move on. Okay. Yard of the month, 6.3. City Clerk, take it away.
These were the submissions for Yard of the Month for May.
there we go.
Oh, she's done a lot.
Kohler, is that
18.
for you, Susan?
Not for, heck, no, but she's done a great job.
She did a great job.
Making her, she's
Both of them.
painted,
Yeah.
she's remodeled, she's put the wall and all new sod and a new she got
We,
an
we
excellent
haven't
driveway.
done one over in Kohler in a
He-
long
she's-
time.
Worked really hard.
I was gonna say, that house has done a huge improvement.
Huge.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I've even tried to convince my husband. And Pryor's is nice, but that was done by a flipper company.
Oh, okay. They,
Was the house that was completely flipped to
oh,
remodel like that.
okay.
I mean,
know
not,
what
not that it's not beautiful, it's gorgeous, but the other one, the homeowner themselves.
Yeah, they had,
Is it
the
fine?
whole house has been
Is
contracted.
it Prior even up for sale?
No, it's bought. They bought it.
Okay.
Yeah, that one, it was for sale. They bought it like that.
Anyway, okay, like Kohler?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
but my
Okay.
vote's Kohler.
All right.
I vote Kohler.
Kohler. What about you, Larry? Kohler?
Can we do both of them? No.
We only have one sign, but I guess we do have some, no sign.
Yeah, sure.
All right, we
I
can do
like
the other one
Kohler.
next month. I mean, it's
Yeah.
June is around the corner. But for May, Kohler,
Yeah.
okay.
We
let's
have to
just
vote?
Do that.
We
Okay,
have
do
to
you have a
vote, okay.
motion?
I'll make the motion for
Kohler.
18 Kohler.
Okay.
I second.
Second, Ms. Coxwell, let's go ahead and vote.
Yeah, because that's what that house looked like.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And on top of that, we haven't done Kohler in a long time. Springdale, all the other ones, I mean, Scottsdale, we've done a lot. Okay, and the vote is
Yeah, the before and after. She's
Yeah, it does look amazing.
Go ahead.
They've definitely put a lot of hard work into that.
5-0. Okay, well, thank you.
Wow, you got a new screen.
she is.
All right, and I'll get with you this week and we'll do the package and all that stuff.
It
Okay,
turned out really nice too.
where it is. 6.7 okay, consent agenda. We're going to approve the consent agenda. Does anybody wish to make any changes to the consent agenda? No? Okay, do I have a motion to approve consent agenda as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I have a first,
A second.
second. Ms. Sutton. Okay, let's go ahead and vote. Waiting for my big green numbers. Excellent, 5.0. All right. Number 8, citizens who have requested to be placed on the agenda. I have none. Public comment on non-agenda items. Does anybody tonight wish to make a comment on something we're not going to talk about? Okay.
It's like one and done.
Gotcha. You already had your time. You had your 3 minutes. You're done. Okay, unfinished business, 10.1, ordinance 2026-02, electric bicycles, motorized scooters, and micro mobility devices. Who's going to speak to that?
So Mayor and Council, since we published this, ordinance, we have received a request from the Sheriff's Department to make some changes to the ordinance itself. They're unable to be here tonight, and it frankly wouldn't, if you want to incorporate their changes, that would need to come back probably to like your June meeting. But essentially, their goal is to try their goal has been to try to work with all municipalities to adopt an ordinance that is essentially identical. And a few municipalities have made some changes, and so I think they're trying to bring us all back together to where we're adopting something so that it's easier for them to enforce it countywide. For some of the other cities that have their own police departments, they're a little unique. We don't. They will be the primary enforcement, if not the only enforcement for this. And so I would suggest that we at least wait to get their feedback. And then we'll have to start this process, I believe, all over again with a first reading and a second reading. But at the end of the day, hopefully have an ordinance that we're all happy with.
So we're moving that to June?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I think that's
all right.
I think that's
Everybody
smart.
agree?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
unified.
10.2. What?
We don't have to vote.
We're just moving it.
Okay, okay.
Just move it.
Yeah, we're just moving. You'll vote on it in June. Okay, 10.2, consideration, status, update, and direction on the long-term wastewater solution. City manager?
Yeah, so Mayor and Council, just briefly, at our last council meeting, the direction that I received from the council was to continue to work with the county to try to shore up some of the funding for this project. We're not quite there yet, but I know I sent you all a link to the last county commission meeting where this was brought up at their county commission meeting, along with a concept of a partnership related to establishing a fish hatchery using our wastewater treatment facility. And so that is a preliminary concept, but did want to make you all aware, as well as the public, that this was discussed at the county commission meeting, and the direction was to give the county staff, was to essentially have the county staff work with the city on this project. And so we don't have any formal action other than that, but I did want to still keep this on our agenda so that we can have the discussion if there's anything additional that you would like staff to bring back. But as far as any hard numbers, we don't have those quite yet.
Okay.
We did receive an extension from the Florida
State.
Department of Environmental Protection, so we have more time. But I think I think we'd all agree it's still in our best interest to still move forward with some sense of urgency.
Oh, good.
As you work with the county, do you suggest some sort of agreement, MOU, as to what they're willing to do or not do, or you know, the deal that they have with Fort Walton Bars, the contract, is that something they would entertain? I realize they can't say and do a lot, but whatever they could do to help clarify what the position that they would intend to take. Because I listened to that meeting, and the direction was quite clear. You know, they want to work with poor Mary Esther, but the idea, I think, you know, whatever we can bring clarity to the situation, I think would help us decide if we could get whatever clarity they can offer. It would help us to make a better informed decision.
Good.
Well, just like probably didn't see the meeting. The meeting that they're talking about, did you see it at all? Okay. It was in the comments, the commissioner's comments. So it was really just literally just a conversation. There was no vote on anything. There was no decision making. It was like, hey, you know, this been talking to, we kind of like this idea. What do y'all kind of think? And then they kind of were not, they were all like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's think, you know, keep it here and all that. So no vote was taken, but it is in the air.
Who came up with the fishing hatchery?
I think that's been up for a while, kind of as a little chitter chatter.
I'm not necessarily concerned about what happens to the plant if we were to send it to the county, but I'm really concerned about the numbers because that's what's going to impact all of our citizens and all of us sitting up here for water sewer bills. So what I'd like to see is some shored up numbers as far as like a rehab, rebuild the facility here to keep it. And then also what the county is committing to, because I'm not comfortable saying, okay, yes, let's send our wastewater to the county and they take on that responsibility, but then we don't have any hard numbers or anything in writing first. That's a lot of faith to take a leap on, and I'm not real comfortable taking that leap without something in writing, some type of contract. You know, what's the annual cost going to be every year to send our wastewater there? How long is that contract? How long, you know, what percentage is that going to go up after 5 years, 10? I mean, there needs to be some better solutions. And with that Mott McDonald study being quite old, I'd like to see some updated numbers on the rehab of our facility.
Well, one other thing is when you get those numbers, like she's asking, you know, the county's going to provide the cost and everything. Can you guys calculate how much our bills are going to go up?
I wish I could. So here's where we're at. So we've had the cost estimates updated, and essentially for the capital, it's almost identical. It's about $15 million. Now the piece with the county, I think because we've received an extension, I think if the direction of the council is we would like to head towards the force main, then I think we could start some of those discussions as to try to shore up those numbers. But beyond that, we've got to get to, I think council needs to be comfortable with one of the two directions. And so whatever you need to get to that point of being comfortable, staff will help facilitate that. But we can't necessarily start applying for capital grants before we know that this is generally the direction we want to head in. And so I think best case scenario is you have, and Hayward City Attorney can help with this, but whether it's an MOU or an IGA that starts to lay out how this would be structured, including potentially any kind of long-term commitment on rates, on wholesale rates with the county. But having some clarity on what we'd be paying the county for wholesale rates, so basically the operating cost, and then what they are willing to do in terms of any capital contributions to the project. And so, in short, your best case scenario is, at least for one of those options, can we make the 15 million down to 10, right, without applying for any additional state grants or federal grants? And so that's probably, you know, your best case scenario. Once the council commits one way or the other, staff can start to write those grant applications for the remainder of the funding. If the decision is the force main project, you've probably got a good 3 to 5 years to come up with additional funding. And as we've discussed before, the rehab of the plant can be done in multiple phases. And so for that project, you wouldn't necessarily need to come up with as much capital funding for the first phase.
When do you think you might have those numbers like Ms. Sutton's asking for?
So we're trying to schedule a meeting with the county. And so once we have that meeting, we'll see where we're at. I can't commit the county to anything. We've had some discussions, but nothing has been formalized, which was also brought up at the county commission meeting, that there's a concept, but it's not been fully fleshed out on paper. And so I think that's probably your next step.
So it's not just the capital cost, though, that I'm concerned about. It's the annual operating budget. Because obviously, we are still going to have water to worry about here, even if we send our sewer or wastewater to the county. So I'm also looking at what is it going to impact our city on an annual operating budget as well.
Right, so what we can get from the county is, we've already received a conservative number from them as far as what they will charge us to receive our wastewater, our raw wastewater. When it comes to the other contracts that we have, our estimate was based on what we received through our bid process last year. But, I mean, as far as negotiating a contract with the O&M provider, that's a whole nother step to this.
Right, and I'm not necessarily needing to know that, oh, yes, we have a contract, but they should be able to provide, we should be able to get a ballpark figure that gives us some type of overview of, it's roughly going to cost us this to, send our wastewater out. We know what it currently costs us.
Right, which we've done, so we've done that. We've done that. We have those numbers. We had those at the last workshop. But it comes down to your electric cost for the pump station, which we provided an estimate for that, as well as a conservative figure from the county, what they were comfortable with giving us. But anything less than that would be a negotiation with the county. And so that's what I meant by the wholesale rate. So to put this in some other terms, so the city of Fort Walton Beach has a contract with Okaloosa County. It's a 30-year contract with, I believe, 2 additional 10-year extensions. And I think the annual escalation is 3% a year.
Okay.
But until we communicate to the county that this is generally where we think we would like to head,
Right.
it's harder to have those conversations to start shoring that up.
Well,
Oh, wait, that's Richard.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I've heard a lot of pros for the county. Of course, haven't heard any cons, and there are cons. Same way with rehabbing our plant. There's a lot of pros, and of course, there's going to be cons. I'd like to hear Jacobs give us pros and cons, and I don't know if the county will, but I'd like to hear the pros and cons of this. And then we could look at it and say, before we're get rid of our plant, we're at the total mercy of the county, which can raise the price for whatever. I'd like to see the pros and cons.
You know what we did? Didn't we just do that in the last meeting?
Kinda did that
The pros and cons?
over
That was all those slides?
Slides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you mind, we're
Rehearsing it?
discussing this. Just give us, you don't have to do the slides or anything, just give us what you feel pros and cons for the plant and let's rehash it one more time.
Scott Jernigan, Jacobs out of Pensacola. So I guess we can talk generally about pros and cons, like we just mentioned, maybe some anecdotes for other smaller municipalities we work for in the Panhandle. So let's talk about keeping the plant. Keeping the plant keeps control over your utilities under the city's umbrella. So you can plan for capital expenses, you can plan for operational rate increases, that stuff. You can kind of budget that and have an idea of where that's going. We'll say burden of operation still falls with the city. But again, you do that now, so you kind of know what it is. We talked about risk last meeting. You know, the risk of staying in compliance stays with the city. Again, back to last month's conversation, the risk of your collection system stays with you either way. So, you know, when we talked about building the lift station, you know, we're going to assume that the city's going to own the lift station, and there will be some line of demarcation between the city's facilities and the county's facilities. So, a con for pumping to the county is you've got a 15-ish mile force main, 10-mile force main. Do you remember the length?
It's about 7 miles.
7 miles, okay.
Mhm.
7 miles. So you've got a long force main that's, you know, it's a single point. So if something happens there, you need to have provisions to be able to respond quickly to a line break or, you know, on-site storage to store some of that wastewater flow while that repair is made. Now that could be covered in the negotiation that maybe the county owns the force main. So if the city drew a line and said, hey, we own the lift station and we own the force main to the fence, and from there to the county, you know, that's the county's responsibility. So, you know, it could be a pro or a con depending upon how you look at it. At the end of the day, if something happens to the force main, you don't have anywhere for wastewater to go.
Didn't we have the one about the transportation methods that are changing of the waste and such?
Yes, ma'am. So we talked briefly about PFAS, and that's something the military brought up when they were here. We do expect some PFAS limitations to come down the pipe at some point. And again, we'll talk about the liquid stream, and you know, we know how to treat the liquid stream. That really becomes a financial exercise in what is the best path forward to dispose of it. So there's 2 or 3, I guess, more popular treatments to get the PFAS out of your water, out of your reclaimed water, if you have it. And then the exercise becomes, is it better to invest less in like a GAC filter and possibly pay more in disposal cost, or you know, pay less or pay more, excuse me, with a proprietary ion exchange type process, something like that. But it gives you longer media life, so your disposal costs are less. That's kind of how you would weigh out once we figure out, one, what the concentration is in your reclaimed water, and then 2, what the standards are going to look like. When you switch to the solids process of that, several folks we've worked with have done some testing on their biosolids and have found some PFAS in them. Right now, the only way the most common way I know of to treat those is like a high temp incineration or gasification process, order of magnitude 800 degrees Celsius. When you start talking about that, you look at all of the utilities across the Panhandle in South Alabama. You know, a regional solution to that is what's kind of surfacing. And we've actually met with Florida Rural Water and had some of these discussions. So they are taking some of these discussions to the state level to have some conversations. And then there's a couple of other utilities in the Panhandle that have said, you know, we foresee this coming. We want to start planning for that. And if that's the case and that facility is constructed, then the city would have the opportunity to sign a contract or an MOU with those utilities and say, hey, if you take our biosolids and it's X dollars per ton. Yes, sir.
If we go county, aren't they the county gonna instruct a really large holding tank to hold the sewage till?
So the study that we saw that Barge did, it included a holding tank. I don't remember the volume, but I assume that's still part of the program.
Yes.
Which is, it constantly goes up, and if something happens to the county and they can't pump it out, it could be a problem, right?
Yes, sir.
What's the other, rehab, as far as going in phases and rehabbing them as to in phases replacing?
So we've
At
been
the end,
working.
you'd have a state-of-the-art water treatment plant.
Okay. So let's cover the rehab part first. So in the Mott McDonald report that was referenced earlier, it identified, I think, 5 phases of projects for the wastewater treatment plant. One of those was the package plant demolition. It's already been done. Another one was some rehab on the chlorine contact chamber. Some of that work has been done. really the big ones that you need to look at will be the rehab of Train One, which will be some concrete repair work inside the basins, addition of new aeration and clarification equipment, and then the electrical portion that goes with that. Um, Order of magnitude, 2.5, 3 million. Do you remember those numbers? Anyway, we've worked with Jared to update those numbers from the Mott report to today's dollars. The other projects that were looked at in there was a dewatering system, which could be pushed out or, could be done earlier. Right now, you guys use drying beds as your dewatering method. The biggest project in the master plan from Mott was the reclaim main as it routes through Herbert Field. So we took those numbers and that project would include construction of a new pump station and rerouting your reclaim main so that it was outside of Herbert Field's property. I don't remember the value on that, but that was the single largest one in there. So with all of those projects, Mott did a prioritization of, which ones should be done first. That can be revisited, but it's not going to be an all or nothing or bite it off all at one time. It's going to be a schedule it, budget it, figure out how we're going to pay for it.
Finish?
Yeah, good.
No, make sure you
No.
finish.
Yeah, I guess.
No, if you got some more to ask, please, by all means.
No, it's the same way the county only, they want money up front that we don't have, and we have.
For construction.
That would be a Jared question.
Okay. He's like, never mind. Anyway, you answer.
So, and just as you know, we've looked at these numbers several different times. So the, escalating the cost estimate that we got from Barge for some of the work here at the plant, the cost estimate for the force main to the county was $14,994,379. The cost estimate to rehab the existing plant, including replacing piping to the spray field, was $15,063,300. The big difference in cost between the two is that one cannot be phased, so the force main cannot be phased. The rehab of the plant can be phased, but the thing that we do need to be mindful of is if we do it in multiple phases, it's probably not going to be $15 million by the time we get to the last phase. And so,
But there are grants for both sides, right?
correct, there are, but it kind of gets back to the mayor's question earlier about, can we put this in terms of how much is this going to add to the utility bill? And the unfortunate thing is we can kind of give you the worst case scenario, which is you don't receive any grants, but we won't know what that number is until we start applying for them.
Both are going to increase the bill.
Yeah, both options
both
are
are
gonna
gonna increase the bill.
increase the bill.
Correct. We're kind of trying to look for the lesser of two evils, essentially.
I mean, both are gonna hurt
Yes.
regardless.
Right, we just have to, what's best for the future.
Well, and it's
safety and
obviously,
health of the city.
it's obviously what's gonna be best for our citizens, not just this year or next year, but 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 30
About
years.
50 years.
I mean,
Yes.
what's gonna happen to this, plant or for us, when we're long gone? I mean, we want to make the best decision that'll impact the most people and, future generations.
I know the council sitting up here, same two questions.
Yeah.
And as far as replacing instead of rehabbing.
Yes, sir. So, again, let's talk about two tracks there. Let's say we were able to utilize some of the existing basins you have there and retrofit it with like a membrane bioreactor technology. So we just finished design for Santa Rosa County for an MBR plant. Their plant, brand new greenfield site, 500,000 gallons a day, is 28 million. And that includes a fair amount of civil work and their reclaimed water system. So, equating that down to the city, maybe between 20 and 25 million for that type of new facility. But then I think we'd also want to look at some of the things similar to what we're looking at for like City of Crestview. Are there some equipment upgrades that we can make to get more flow through your current plant. Again, going back to the MBR analogy, if we can utilize the existing tankage, can we set that equipment in the existing tankage? It will give you better quality water, and potentially more flow. I don't have a good number for that though, off the top of my head. But there are, I think if you looked at another alternative strategy for rehabbing the plant, there's a couple things you could look at. With the MBR, right now, all of your flow goes to the spray field. It's going to give you a better level of treatment than you need. So
So we could take on Hobart.
I won't commit to that, but
They're good for 30 years, remember?
No, but we're not, we haven't stayed.
Yes, I look at this whole equation trying like nailing JLO to the wall because it's so difficult. Sir, you make some valid points about keeping the plant. And you can almost throw them up, and for every con, you can find a pro, for every pro, you can find a con. But one of the things about the plant that disturbs me the most is that whether we rehab it, is the proximity, is it to the water line, the bay? And a catastrophic storm, and I'm not asking for one, and I'm never hoping for one, but looking at worst case scenario, to me, the farther that plant is from the water, the better off it is. I mean, how did the powers that be ever thought of putting it right there to start with? But, and then, if we had a holding tank, where that holding tank would be, if the county goes one way and they take over the plant, then we don't have to demolish it. We don't have to pay for it, because to demolish that plant would cost at least $1 million. If the momentum of the county is to do X, Y, and Z, I'd really like to explore that, because if that price looks like it's going to go south versus up, that's something to really think about. But the big $64,000 question is really, at the end of the day, and no one can tell us, is what is our bills going to look like when all this is said and done? And whatever the bill is, I guess the residents of Fort Walton Beach are happy with it, or just dealing with it. But if we had an idea what their, it's not an apples to apples comparison, but what are their sewer bills like, or their water bills? Because their system is a lot more robust, and they're sending it to the county. And if we can get a 30-year contract at 3% or whatever per month, that would be something at least to be able to talk about. But if we could find out what the bill would be like for the resident, because that's going to be the thing. All this won't matter at the end of the day, whether we stay with the plant or go to the county. It really won't matter. Is what that bill's going to look like, is what the citizens are going to want to be able to tell them. And I don't know if we could do our water bill now and ask for public comment, whether they have a choice, because it is a burden that 5 people got to decide for 4,000. And that's what I see, and I looked at the plant, but I have to say that the location of the plant bothers me more than anything else. If we're going to keep the plant or build another one, not do it there, because a catastrophic failure will put us right into the bay. And that's unacceptable.
So $1 million gallon holding tank, hurricane could hit that too.
Well, I'm not saying that it won't, sir. But my point is, looking at that risk, we have a chance to change it, and we don't know if the tank is 1 million gallons. But my point is, what is the exact, excuse me, sir, one moment, please. What is the exact consent order targeting? What brought us to that? What did they write up that brought us to this point?
Nothing to do with the plant, does it?
Yeah. It was the infrastructure, the spills.
But does anybody
I
remember
mean,
the consent
Scott can
order?
certainly speak to it more, but it's both. It's not just one. It's both.
We have 2?
No, sir. It's the collection system needs improvements, as well as the plant.
Processing. Okay.
Thank you, sir. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much for that.
Mr. Owner.
I wake up every day. On Mondays, I believe we ought to go to the force main. On Tuesdays, I wake up and think we ought to do the So I'll be honest with you, I'm ready to flip a quarter and say heads is it. Yeah, there is. And again, crystal ball wise, what do we see in 5, 10 years? I mean, look how inflation already and gas prices and again, I'll throw the EPA under the bus. And I see it already. They're trying to do, let's take Okaloosa County. They'd rather have one facility than 9 cities with it, see? So, yeah, I mean, I really am. I met with Jared earlier today and I went, I really could flip a coin. Any given morning I wake up and I've changed my mind again. So, and again, nothing against Mott McDonald, kind of. But do we want to have another evaluation done, a survey, so we get it? I mean, I hate saying I want to spend another $10,000 to do that, but what is there? I mean, or do we trust Mott McDonald and Jacobs to give what do we think? I mean,
So Mayor and Council, if I could just,
Yeah.
just briefly, two things. One, and this is what we keep talking about, at the end of the day, in the next 3 to 6 months, you're not going to have that exact number that you're looking for. But I think the goal would be to reduce as many variables as possible, to try to reduce the risk, to try to mitigate cost as much as possible. And when you do that, which option, are you more comfortable with? But it comes down to those values of risk, cost, control is also one of them. You obviously have more control if you own the plant, but you don't control the regulations that come from the EPA or DEP. But so the staff recommendation at this point was that if you wanted to continue looking at the force main option, to try to shore up the numbers with the county, with what they would be willing and comfortable to participate in.
You don't
Um,
have those numbers yet.
We do not.
And that was, I think, that was the decision the council made last month to continue working with the county.
Well,
Correct. The other two things, though, if I could just real quick. So that was one. Also, I fielded a number of, I'll call them technical questions that it would be dangerous if I was the one answering them. And so to Councilmember Oder's comment, we do have the option of having one of our other contract engineers review the reports that have already been prepared and then have the same kind of discussion with you all, Q&A, over some of the pros and the cons. And then, leading up to that, staff is certainly happy to provide you all with reports monthly until we get to a point to where you have better numbers from the county.
so I have a question. So 4 of the 5 sitting council members made this decision to go to the county a few years ago. We voted to go to the county
That's right.
several years ago. So I guess my question is to all of council and including myself is why are we sitting here again and struggling with this decision once again? I mean, because obviously this decision has torn all of us. I mean, and I can say that, yeah, I mean, I don't have a crystal ball. None of us do. And this decision is very painful to go for either option. But it was just a few short years ago that the 4 of us sitting up here decided to go to the county for a number of reasons. And we need to definitely get a few answers, but we do need to make a decision. It's time.
And if I could be really brief to that, so the council directed staff to work towards putting together funding for the force main project, and working with Hurlburt was a huge part of that. And so essentially what happened was when Hurlburt made the decision not to partner on this project, we kind of had to reset and see if this was even feasible. And so the county provided a lot of support in updating those cost estimates. And so that's how we're at where we are today. And now we're kind of starting to get into some of the finer details of operating cost, and any direct contributions that they may be able to
Right,
provide
but
to
at
the
the time
project.
that the council voted, Herbert Field was not in the equation. Herbert Field came into the equation as we were looking into the cost to go to the county, but we made the choice.
Remember.
Yeah, and you voted yes, with Holbrook Fields.
Field said they had also grants they could help us with
They
too.
do.
Well, in any case, we're gonna
Yeah,
review.
we're back at the fork in the road and
So you don't want to vote tonight, or you do want to vote tonight on which way to go?
I mean, at the end of the day, that is a decision for council. So if council is comfortable with making that
Thank
decision
you. Does
tonight,
council want to make a decision tonight on going one way or the other?
gotta do something. We keep
But no, I mean, just do it. Like everybody's saying, is council ready to make a decision tonight, which way they want to go? You vote yes or no, it's your call, but I mean, do you want to do that tonight, or you want to continue with the staff getting us additional information? What do you want to do? Ms. Sutton? Want to vote tonight, yes or no? Ms. Coxwell?
I just concerned that we keep talking to the county and we don't have a decision, they're gonna limit what they're talking about as
Yeah.
well. How much they're willing
They
to go
want
in.
a
So,
decision.
exactly.
Yeah.
They're not gonna talk about certain things unless they have a
But it goes
decision.
with the plan. Yeah. All right, so Schroeder, how do you feel about it?
Any
You
more
wanna
than
vote
Jacobs
tonight?
would.
Yeah, I mean,
either
honestly,
way.
It depends on what's voted. I mean, what's
To
the
go with the
resolution?
Force main or the other one? With all the, with the information you have?
We don't know the
I'm getting out my quarter.
Write the quarter out. That'll work. I mean, it seems in the middle here.
We don't know anything.
Okay, so, Mr. Carter, do you want to vote tonight? Yes or no? And you can vote yes or no on the vote too, so you get a double whammy here.
Something that changed the destiny of, Marist for 50 years, I'd like to have the report.
Okay, so you want staff to continue.
Yeah, can we set a deadline of like the June meeting?
When do you think you'll be up to the most information you're gonna be able to get without making a decision? Next month?
I mean, that comes down to the county. I can't make a commitment
No,
for
the
them.
report from the
So-
engineer. That's what I was talking about.
Okay, well, if you wanna elicit an engineer to come up, put the data together?
I can certainly, I can certainly engage with one and bring you back a time frame for when that can be done.
That,
And our next meeting is on May 18th?
Yes.
18th.
And also dollar figure of what they would charge us to do this?
Without us committing to anything, I don't know that they'll.
Or will they
So-
charge us? I mean,
If we're talking about an engineering firm,
Wanna wait?
yes, they're going to charge us to review
okay,
the report and,
okay, that's fine. But okay, here's here's their format and here's the dollar value. I want to know what the dollar value, like I say.
18th of May, we'll have a dollar value for the,
I cannot commit to that. I can't commit to that.
no, you're talking about the engineering report. We're gonna have to elicit
The,
an
the
engineer.
purpose behind that was we've received, we've gone through the process of preparing an alternatives report. So looking at the different alternatives that are available. And I have fielded some technical questions that at the end of the day, I don't want to give you all bad information. So I know enough about it to give you feedback from a city manager's perspective, but at the same time, I'm not a subject matter expert when it comes to wastewater. And so if the council would like an engineering firm to review what we've already had prepared, I think they would be in a much better position to answer some of the questions that you have about risks, for example, or regulations. But that is entirely up to the council. If it's purely about cost, then the only way that we're going to get closer on the wastewater side is by engaging with the county. And certainly, I mean, we all have been in this business for a while now, and we can probably have a discussion, but I don't know that there will be any kind of agreement in place before, June or July for sure.
Am I understanding correctly that the council wants to move forward? Is that
Am I interpreting your comments correctly?
I mean, that's, the plan is to make, a decision and, but with all the knowledge that we.
So
front- but
my
with-
point is, do you want to have find another piece of data to decide, or you have enough information now to decide?
We don't know the dollar figures for both, do we?
Everybody.
Yes, we already have those figures. What he's offering is a third-party review what's already there, if I understand correctly. But with that last briefing we had gave us numbers, and then now they're both about $15 million apiece.
So what you're wanting is somebody to basically look over what we've done and see if they have a little bit either different perspective or if there's something.
This will be a third disinterested party. They don't have a dog in the fight.
As long as y'all are looking at the pros and cons of both, y'all heard what the guy said. So that has to be in the decision.
Agreed. But I just want to make sure that I'm understanding what you've said, because if you want to make a decision tonight on what we already know, then that's what the question I'm asking.
But we didn't know.
I mean, I don't necessarily want to keep throwing money at this that we're spending just for surveys and I mean, I don't think that's the solution either. I mean,
Right.
I
Well-
think at some point
I'm prepared to vote
we crap
Plan
ourselves a pot. I
or-
mean,
force mayor. I'm prepared to decide, to tell you what my decision is tonight, if that's what the council wants to do.
I'm prepared to give a decision tonight.
Okay, let's start, everybody, listen. Do I have a motion to go with the force main option on our sewer system? Do I have the motion? Do I have a first?
What's the first?
The first to go to force main, to go to the county, okay? I don't think you'll give me that, but I mean, will anybody give me a motion to do this? Let's move on it, because all we're doing is talking all night, so
I have a motion to vote
give a
on.
motion to go
Yes.
to force main. I have a first by Mr. Carter. Do I have a second? Somebody else said you can vote tonight, Ms. Sutton. Do you want to give a second to this?
I'm going to second.
Okay, I have a second by Ms. Sutton. Any more discussion on this?
Before we vote, can I just ask for the clarification? I have motion to go with force main
Force main to
option.
the county is our decision.
Okay.
I have a first by Mr. Carter, second by Ms. Sutton.
Okay.
Is there any more discussion? Let's go ahead and vote. And then that gives, well, we'll see what happens. Go ahead and vote. If you don't want to do it, vote no. Well, I got 3 green, so we already got it. Okay, so we are going to go with a force main, so now you can get with the county
For
and
the,
tell them.
for the record, I still need Mr. Lawson's vote for the minutes.
Yeah, what's your vote, yes or no? You can't not.
there's-
You got to vote yes or no. Okay, 2 noes, 3 yeses. The yeses win. City manager has the go-ahead to open the discussions, to get us the numbers. And if we don't like the numbers, you can always change the direction. This isn't a guarantee. We haven't spent a penny yet. But at least you can say to the county, our council voted to go with this.
So I do have a question.
Go ahead.
If so the vote passed 3-2. So if the numbers do not work with a county or we do not get
The grants.
the grants that come in,
Change it.
yeah.
This is not in concrete. You
We-
guys haven't spent anything.
Yes, so we still have quite a bit of time before we have to give DEP a final answer, if you will. And at the end of the day, if there was something else, some other wrench that was thrown in the plans, we can still go back to DEP and have a discussion with them. We've got until, was it April 2027?
Yes.
So you're not under the same pressure that we were a few weeks ago to have a decision. And so we've got plenty of runway before we get to the point of no return.
And how much money are we have? Yes. And so you're happy now? You can go ahead with the idea the council blesses force main to the county.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move on. Can we? Thank you. 11.1, Consideration of a bid for Azalea Park and Caswell Circle Neighborhood Improvements Project. City Manager, you want to take that for action?
Yeah, so Mayor and Council, we talked about this earlier on today. And so at this point, we are recommending that we have this discussion on the May 18th agenda.
Okay, so we're moving this to May 18th.
Yes, sir.
11.2, consideration proposed fiscal year 2027 budget calendar.
Okay.
Do we have a
so-
calendar for the budget?
So yes, sir. So we have a budget calendar here in front of you. And Heather, do you want to address that? If you have any questions, she'd be more than happy to answer them for you.
Everybody get out their cruise schedules.
Yeah, Heather Day, Finance Director. But yes, it's very similar to last year's. We do have to work between the county's budget hearings and the school district, so there's only a few days we could really move, but does anybody have any issues with really the special meetings? But we did add in some extra meetings just in case we need, so I think there's, let's see, at least 2 or 3 like budget workshops or meetings we could do in case we need some extra time this year. But I've already actually started working on the budget, so we're working with staff right now. So we're trying to start early. And there's probably some wiggle room with the individual meetings. I haven't scheduled those exactly yet, but those are June 23rd through 26th. So if there's conflicts with that, we could probably move those around. But really, it's the 2 special meetings that.
What are those dates?
The first one is on the 7th of September at 6 here, and then the second one is September 21st.
And that's the ones with the 2 votes.
7th is Labor Day.
Is this something?
Yeah.
If it's the August one, I have the 17th on this item.
Can I do that?
Okay, so 7th's a holiday?
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Well, and I've got listed a special meeting on July 20th for a budget workshop. I will not be in attendance.
Well, and the June 23rd, 26th, is that 2 meetings or?
That's meetings with her, the how we sit over them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And the August 17th, I will be out of.
So what was it, August 17th? Cannot make?
Well, the July 20th, I mean, I can participate via Zoom, but I won't be physically here.
Yeah, let's try to, if we can all be here, it makes it better. So we can move things around and make it happen.
But the 20th for sure, I've got a
That's fine.
conference.
Yeah, not a problem.
We have
Looks
a
like we're
day.
doing a holiday here.
What's the,
Yeah, the 7th is Labor Day.
Yeah, no.
Would be a Tuesday.
So our council meeting we had put on the
Okay.
8th.
I
Yeah.
think the 8th is probably gonna be fine because the counties is on the 3rd. So we could probably move that one to the 8th if y'all are okay with the,
8th of September, everybody okay with?
Mhm.
That would coincide with the council meeting.
And
Okay.
21st September?
Yeah,
Those are the 2
Yeah.
public record, public,
yeah, I'm fine with those.
okay. And then moving back into August, what dates did you want for August?
so the August were, okay, the regular meeting was August 3rd, is that what you said?
On 3rd.
Okay. And then, which one can you not do? The,
August 17th, that's that Monday after the annual conference.
yeah, I was just trying to make them on Mondays. So if you want to have a special meeting on a different day, that's fine. That doesn't have to be, that could be whenever.
The annual conference will be back on Saturday, so
Maybe you
that's
will.
done. Oh, you're doing a vacation?
Do you have a preference?
All right, well, when are you gonna be back, Susan?
Oh, I'm not going.
Oh. 17th is no good for you?
I'm here.
You are.
I'm here. All of these dates at this time.
At this time.
At this time.
Yeah, that one, that's just the
Except for
third,
Labor Day.
or the,
Fine. No, I don't.
the special meeting, you know,
That
the
one was just
Monday,
an-
so it's,
Yeah, that was
it's
just an if.
extra.
Yeah, that
yeah.
was that
Okay.
17th is a maybe.
Okay.
anyway, so,
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we could still change it later if you want, or if you want to do it virtually, or.
yeah, that one I would be fine be virtual if it's a needed meeting.
Heather,
I'll
Okay.
call from the.
I'm sorry. Voter?
What I was going to ask, if the city manager, could you have your assistant send us all electronically so we all can make sure we get it on our computers?
Yeah,
So we can make sure we have the right dates and times?
yeah, she can FaceTime it.
Yeah, well, you can certainly do
Or-
that.
Well, between, yeah, Susan normally sends them. out, so-
Outlook it or-
yeah, whoever. So we
Is it-
can-
Oh, are you saying for the, I'm sorry, sir, were you talking about the individual meetings?
Well, no, for all of them.
All of it, okay.
Yeah, we'll get you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
Facebook.
Because I'm not taking notes that fast as we're changing. so.
That's fine.
Okay, yeah, and then Susan, she'll be contacting you to schedule the individual ones in, June. Sorry about that. I can't believe I just overlooked Labor Day, but
When's
I think we're
Christmas?
still good.
Okay.
When's Christmas?
Can you tell us that?
I think so.
Okay.
25th, I think.
She's got that.
Hey,
down.
Heather.
No meetings on the 25th.
You got it.
Oh, it is.
Have you received the
Shoot.
contract from the sheriff's office yet?
They're working on that,
No.
this, no, they are working on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks.
11.3 is holidays. And you verified it's on the 25th, so we're good.
Yeah.
Who wants to talk to that?
So typically we approve we do approve the budget's calendar. And so if we
Oh.
can go ahead and
Oh.
just get a
Yeah.
motion for that.
In that case, even though we don't have a budget calendar,
Kind of.
motion to approve the fiscal year 2027 budget calendar as presented
Do with the proposed change since we swapped the 9.
with all the proposed changes.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, yeah, for the holiday.
Being a meeting.
Okay. Do I have a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Okay,
I'll
first,
second.
Ms. Sutton, Ms. Coxwell's number 2 on that one. Let's go ahead and vote. Okay, it passed unanimously. Moving on to 11.3, consideration 2026 holiday closing schedule.
Yes, Mayor and Council, so this is the item that we bring to you every year. We've been trying to bring this to you earlier just so that folks can make plans for the holidays. Typically, we close down for the week between Christmas and New Year's. And so for this year, we would propose to close at noon on Wednesday, December 23rd, and reopen on Monday, January 4th. For those staff that elect to take this off, it would require 3 days of vacation or personal leave. Employees are permitted to work, so if they prefer to work, we do make sure that there are assignments during that period, but offices would remain closed to the public. This does not apply to any essential services, so water and sewer and our other contracts would continue. And so with that, happy to answer any questions that you have.
The Christmas party is going to be on the 23rd?
Scott's house.
Just thought I'd ask.
That's what we are planning on.
More
We
important,
could
where's it
still,
going to be this year?
we still could do it earlier if council wants to.
I enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
So,
Hint, hint.
Irish
Really.
pub, what's the name? McGuire's. Okay, anyway.
That certainly makes it easier if we don't have to reopen that process again and evaluate restaurants.
We actually really liked that.
That was
So.
great.
That was great.
That's our council, but the staff is gonna have to. Have you guys already had a meeting on it, I'm assuming, where you want to eat?
No, I mean, I think everyone was pretty happy with the location last year.
Okay, all right. That's a different thing. But anyway, do I have a motion to authorize the closing of city facilities during the holiday period beginning noon on December 23rd, 2026, and reopening January 4th, 2027?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, but first, Richard?
I'll second.
And we got a second by Susan. Okay, let's go ahead and vote. And we're unanimous. Great, excellent, thank you. Number 11.4 is discussion city's charter changes.
Yeah, so Mayor and Council, at the last meeting, you tasked me to speak to Supervisor of Elections Lux pertaining to adding a charter change onto the November ballot. I received that the deadline to add something is Friday, August 14th. So if you would like to add anything, now's the time to let me know, and then me and Hayward will work to get everything
Big
set
one
up.
was the change of the election, right?
I heard that one, and I heard adjusting your term. Those were the two that I remember the
But we
most.
were discussing that, and that wasn't a big,
No, that was,
that was shot down.
Okay.
But the
Then-
other one, the date for
The
the thing,
election.
Mhm.
that would go to November then?
To line up with like the national elections?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what we voted on? That's what you wanted, right?
well, we.
There wasn't a
Wait,
vote.
there
There
was
was just discussion.
Yeah, but now we
These are the-
can.
these
Well,
were-
yeah, and what we can do is, I mean, this has already been done by several local cities. So, I mean, we can cannibalize their ordinance, bring that back, and that would be your opportunity to talk about it. And
Before
decide
August
whether-
Yeah.
14th.
I think the only thing we have to do is do an ordinance for it.
Yeah, we have to do the
Ordinance
ordinance,
to
which
change
would
the
lay out the actual ballot language.
Right.
And again, not super complicated. Other cities have done it,
Yeah,
so we
just-
would just basically use that.
And get it to elections by the 14th of August.
Right. So we just need to prepare the ordinance and bring it back to you, let you look at it, confirm, do a first and second reading. And then, once it's approved, we can get it.
Okay, do
to
we
you.
need a motion or a vote to approve?
No, if
what
you
he-
just give us direction to go ahead and bring
Mhm.
that back, we can start
Yeah.
that process.
Is that okay with you, everybody?
That's fine.
An
Okay.
ordinance for the election time.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay,
we're-
so you got it, no vote,
Wait,
go for it.
the mayor. was brought up.
Okay, item number 12, council standing committee reports and other comments. Ms. Sutton, you want to start?
Nothing tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a couple. First, thank you, Jacobs. I hope tonight was very difficult. This was something that was, first time I saw it brought up, I was sitting on that side, listening to, the council at that time talk about the issues. And so we're talking almost 10 years ago. So this has been a long process, and it's hard for us sitting up here as it would have been for the ones that were up here when it started. So don't take it personally.
Driving back to Pensacola,
You
man?
know. Also, Mary Esther Elementary is having their kind of, I hate to say farewell, but closing of their chapter night, Tuesday, May 19th, 5 to 6:30. The school will be open. You know, if you attended or anything like that, or just want to show some love, that would be great. The staff there is, they're all starting to hear their
What time?
assignments, 5 to 6:30.
Okay.
And Mayor Stein, if you happen to have any pictures of the school when it was younger,
They already texted.
Yeah,
me
I
that.
didn't know. Okay.
don't. I'm looking, but I don't.
God, you parents didn't take all the little hold the board pictures first day
Not
of
of a
school.
school. Yeah, I
Um,
don't have anything.
And on that, I had talked to, I think we brought this up kind of, you know, it was in the meeting when we were at the school board. On the wall, they have the medallion of each school's. When they remove it, because it will no longer be a school, is there a way that maybe it could be relinquished to put on our historical wall at the new city hall?
Absolutely.
Well, we have to ask because it is
From
school
the s-
district property.
Oh.
The one that's in their
Yeah,
chambers.
Parker, what's his name, would be
Preston.
more than happy to give it to us, I'm
Uh-huh.
sure.
Another thing, you know, this kind of goes
Preston.
with code enforcement and some of the issues that we have with some of the older homes, with some of the aging out homes, maybe elder owners. The county has a program, SHIP program, and I've talked to Jared about this and him and I just want to know that it is available to our city residents because they are in the county. It is income-based, this AI, is the AMI, which is really high. If you make 80% or less of the AMI for the household you're in, you can get assistance with roofing, HVAC, doors, windows, plumbing. It's a 5-year deferred loan, so if you stay in the house for 5 years, you owe nothing. So I don't know if there's a way to tie that link in on our website to the, you know, when they're like, if you go into code and things like that, or people are having issues with their home, it's definitely something. County has the money. They need to spend the money. And they have it. So let's do that for some of our citizens.
Okay, thank you. Richard? No? Yard of the month, I'll take care of.
Did you want me to show that one video you sent me? In the
No.
mall? No?
Yeah, well, yes, I do. You got it. It's 2 seconds. This is what, we're at Panera Bread and my wife ran out in front of a speeding car and videotaped it at the mall. Miss Sutton would be very proud. But this guy was doing wheelies. He smoked his tires. It was an Ford Ranger, maybe?
The Ford Ranger.
Is it? And he waved at us while we were video. This is Panera Bread. He was waving at us, and not a cop in sight, but it broad daylight. And my van was right. They went right by my van, right there, zipped by it. But he's a pretty good driver, I thought. I think we know who the guy is too. That's really weird. But yeah,
I do.
yeah. But anyway, that
I
was
know
pretty
him.
cool. Anyway, that's all I have.
No, that volunteer for the parade said they haven't called him back.
He did not.
Oh, yeah, and then we'll be in the parade.
Not about the parade.
Yes, this weekend, yes.
I'll check with them.
Check. Yeah,
Not a-
I'll be more than happy. We got it.
And
Okay.
you're gonna be in a parade this week.
This weekend.
Yes, that's the Crestview.
250th
50th
What
anniversary.
day?
Saturday, the 9th.
Okay.
April, you and I will be in a parade.
No, I'm gonna.
No, we're all going up. You, me, and you, and yeah, we're
I've got
no,
to go
no.
to the rope
And it
to
starts at
grab the boys.
4 o'clock and runs. The parade starts at 4
But we're leaving at 1.
for 1, and it's over with at 9.
Yes. and
Okay.
Well, the
I'm
events
on.
are open till 9, but
Are you dressing up?
Yes, Mark Franks will be in tights, and so we have
I
tights.
no tights. We already discussed that. But are you gonna put on like a Confederate hat or not or whatever? Not a colonial hat. or-
talking to you.
Anyway, skip it. All right, let's move on. You go ahead, Mr. Carter.
Scoot over.
Schroeder.
Yeah, we had the Northwest Florida Leagues of Cities Summer Event. It was very well attended. State Senator Gates was there, Representative Boyles was there. Mr. Gates was given an award, and it was nice to hear him say he backs Florida Leagues of Cities. He believes in power, which is good. So unfortunately, his Bill 180 made it through the Senate, but the House kind of dropped the ball. So that's still going to hurt us a little bit. May 7th, I've been asked to attend the AFSOC Outstanding Airman of the Year. My old unit out here at Holbert Field has invited me. So I'll be sitting there with them, which is kind of cool because one of the airmen then was an airman who is now the commander of the 720th Special Tactics Group, who's a full colonel. So yeah, 40 years,
Airman to
still
colonel.
active duty, and that's amazing. And then also Memorial Day coming up at Beale
parade,
Cemetery. You're going to be handling it, but I will always go there. So
Yeah, okay. No, that's fine.
oh, the keynote speaker at the summer event.
oh yes,
She was phenomenal.
she was. I thank you. I forgot. Yeah, I have reached out to the Florida Leagues of Cities. She I forget all the different shows she's been on about reviving your cities, smaller cities and stuff like that. And she brought up a good point. I've asked for them if I could get a copy of that presentation. I think it was an excellent idea. I've mentioned it, not to this city manager, but the other city manager. The outside wall of all those tanks, we got an artist somewhere who could paint things and show, and again, or have a committee, not us,
Right.
not us, but let's get some artists and some creative people and have them, what do we want to identify Mary Esther as? And she's got her presentation. They really did a good job and didn't spend a lot of money,
Yeah.
especially with the local artists who were
Right.
doing
They did
it
it,
for
yeah.
almost for free because they
Yeah.
get to sign it. Go to Destin.
That
Look at
steampunk one was.
Yeah,
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Wales and all.
Yeah,
Come
they got
on.
all
Hey,
sorts of
this
stuff.
is, I think is an excellent
We
idea.
need to do, yeah.
Yeah.
that's a Great idea.
So. I'm working that, Susan, though, yeah.
Okay.
I haven't gotten it.
Hayward,
Nothing tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Dylan?
Do your financial disclosures, do your ethics training, do your cybersecurity training, check your mailboxes, and then from the 17th through the 23rd, I will be in Reno, Nevada for my international conference, so expect delays in responses. I will,
As usual.
yeah, okay.
City manager.
That is all.
Pulling the handle.
Avery's gonna need bail.
Not
So as Mayor Pro Tem Coxwell stated earlier, we're certainly happy to provide information about SHIP to the residents. And so we'll look at adding that to the website as well as probably putting out some social media as well on that. The other thing that I would just say in closing is that I do want to acknowledge, I mean, the decision that you all made tonight, because it's been a long time in the making. You know, there have been a number of councils that have had to wrestle with this, and it's not an easy decision. That's why it has taken quite a bit of time to do your due diligence. Again, we'll work with the county moving forward, and if there are any changes that we need to address, we certainly can. But I just want to acknowledge that, I mean, it's a big decision. And so, you know, thank you for all the time and effort that you put into this as well.
Anything else? How big's your TV? Not that big.
Should adjourn to his.
We'll go in.
Adjourn.
Anything else? We're adjourned.